Okay, before we go any further, let me just make a small comment. This comment is mainly for my YouTube audience, those people who will accidentally watch this video on YouTube. I am addressing you here. Listen, learning to speak English is a slow and steady process. When people look for shortcuts, they often end up being disappointed. So stop looking for shortcuts to learn English. The only way you can learn English is by studying hard for a long time. All those teachers making these promises that they'll make you fluent in English, and they use months, whether 3 or 4 or whatever. If they use the word months, then you should understand that they are taking advantage of your desperation. Okay. To learn a language fluently, it takes years, not months. Okay. You guys should be ready to study at least for a year or two in order to feel some noticeable changes in your English, improvement in your English. So that's my message. Another thing that I want to highlight is do not listen to teachers who are speaking Hindi while teaching you spoken English. Those teachers who teach you spoken English, speaking Hindi, are absolutely wasting your time. As long as you are getting to hear English language words in your mouth, in your ears, you're fine. You're learning, okay? But if somebody speaks Hindi and they claim that they are teaching you English, spoken English, you should be warned there. You should be alert there, okay? That's not going to work. To learn to speak English, you need to listen to the English language, not the Hindi language. Okay, let's just start. So here we are. Yesterday, you guys read about these two people, Rose Caldor Aroni and Mike Palumbo. What did they tell you about themselves? Number one, where did they live when they were younger? Did you guys read, Praful, did you read any of the texts or either of the texts? I should say there are only two. When there are only two texts, I should not say any, I should say either, okay? Did you read either of the texts? If there were 3, 4, 5, then I would have asked, did you read any of the texts? Understand? If there are 5 mobiles, 3 mobiles, 4 mobiles, then I will ask you, do you want any of the mobiles? Do you want any of the mobiles? Do you want one? आपको चाहिए इसमें से कोई? Do you want any of these mobile phones? Because there are 3, 4, 5, more than 2, okay? But if there are only 2, then I will ask, do you want either of the phones? Do you want either of the mobiles? Okay. I will not say any. So when we have only 2, we avoid using the word any to refer to one of them. Okay. To refer to one of the 2, use the word either. I have 2 cars. You can take either. You came to borrow my car. Okay. So I have 2 cars. I said, yeah, take either, no problem. Take either. It means doesn't matter you take car A or you take car B. You can take either. But if I have 3 cars, A, B, and C, then I will not say take either. I will say take any. Take any car you want, no problem. Any of the cars. Take any of the cars. Take any car. Take any of the cars. Take either of the cars if there are only 2. The shopkeeper showed you 3 different t-shirts. Okay. You said, I didn't like any of them. I didn't like any of them. The shopkeeper showed you 2 t-shirts. You will say, I didn't like either of them. Okay, so I hope here you got a little bit of clarity about the difference between either and any. All right. When we refer to one of a group of two, a group of more than two. So when we refer to one in a group of two, we say either. When we say one in a group of three, four, five, more than two, we say any. Okay. So, Praful, did you read any of either of the texts?
No, sir.
Okay, you didn't. Kanak, did you?
But I
Yes, Kanak must have read because she was here yesterday. Ruksar, did you read either of the texts? No, she didn't. Silence means no. They don't want to say no. They feel a little embarrassed saying no. Okay, never mind. Let's read the text together. We'll do the exercises, the question answers a bit later. Once skyscrapers around the world were full of offices. So, once has two meanings, okay? For example, just forgive me once, I will not make this mistake ever again. Just forgive me once, I will never make this mistake ever again. So, this once means one time. When I said, forgive me just once, I will never repeat this mistake. I will never make this mistake again. Forgive me just this once, okay? So one time here it is, okay? When I say I have a bath once a day, one time a day, okay? So once means one time, one meaning. Once has another meaning. Take a look at this one. Once skyscrapers around the world were full of offices. So once refers to a time in the past as well. Once refers to a time in the past, usually long time ago. Yeah, right, like that. Okay. Hmm. So once upon a time in Mumbai, there was a movie, right? Okay. Even though it's not a long time ago, but it feels like it was a long time. Okay. Like only a few years, Mumbai was, under the influence of those people, bad people, criminals, D group and all that, Dawood Ibrahim and all. Okay. Once upon a time in Mumbai. However, it was only a few years ago, but it feels like, it was a long time ago. Once in the past. Okay. This once does not mean one time. Okay. Once skyscrapers around the world were full of offices. There was a time when skyscrapers around the world were full of offices, not apartments. The difference is obvious. Apartments are places where people live. Offices are places where people work. So skyscrapers around the world were used only for work. People didn't live in them. There was a time. Once skyscrapers around the world, skyscrapers everywhere, okay, not in particular country I'm talking about. The skyscrapers around the world were full of offices, not apartments. In 2000, only three buildings higher than 200 meters had apartments in them. In 2000, only three buildings higher than 200 meters had apartments in them. Okay, I got to do something. I got to pause the recording first of all, and let me, record, keep a record of what I taught. I'll just put it down somewhere that I taught this stuff. And so today is the 20th of September. This is my 6 a.m. batch. First, I taught the difference between once. First, I taught the difference between either and any. And now I'm teaching the different uses of once, two different uses. Okay. I'll trim this part and make separate videos. These videos will be very useful for my audience on YouTube, those who are not my students, they can benefit more because they don't have that much patience to watch the whole recording.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, Akhilesh. In 2000, only 3 buildings higher than 200 meters had apartments in them. Only 3 buildings higher than 200 meters had apartments in them. In 2000, only 3 buildings higher than 200 meters had apartments in them. So in 2000, you didn't find many skyscrapers with apartments. There were skyscrapers, but they were only used as offices. Give me a second. I just want to check if there is a message or something. Okay. Don't know. So, what fact do you know? In 2000, skyscrapers were not very popular as a living place, right? People preferred them just as their offices. Okay. Today, there are more than 250 such skyscrapers, which are 200 meters tall or higher than 200 meters and have apartments in them. More than 250, from 3 to 250 in 22 years, 23 years. And by the way, this book was in 2016, written in 2016. So clearly, in 16 years, from 3 to 250, if you count today, then I would say the number would be even bigger. Because in 7 years, they must have added quite a few more skyscrapers with apartments in them. Many of them luxury apartments for rich people. Many of them luxury apartments for rich people who want to live the high life. Okay. Better technology makes life at the top easier. Better technology makes life at the top easier. So today we have better technology, and that's why life living in such buildings, tall buildings, skyscrapers, has become easier. Living there has become easier. Lifts can now travel much faster. You don't have to stand in a slow moving, lift for 10 minutes, 15 minutes just to get to your room, get to your flat. More than 40 miles per hour. They travel at more than 40 miles per hour. Also, the buildings don't move so much in the wind anymore. So in the past, the buildings moved more. Okay. What is it like to live on top of the world? How does it feel? What's it like means? How does it feel? What's it like to live on top of the world? When you talk about people's experiences, you ask them questions about their experiences. It is a very common sentence. What's it like to live on top of the world? What's it like to be the only child? Pratik, you are the only child. You don't have any brothers and sisters. So somebody wants to know, means कैसा लगता है कि आपका कोई भाई बहन नहीं है, आप अकेले बच्चे हैं अपने माँ बाप के. Somebody wants to ask question like this. There is an idiomatic expression. What's it like to be the only child of your parents? So you talk about how you feel about it. Oh, it's a bit lonely sometimes, when I see people having fun with their brothers and sisters. I sometimes miss it. One answer could be this way. Or, oh, it feels so great actually. All my parents' love is only for me, you see. I see brothers and sisters fighting with each other. I never have to do that. I think I'm cool with that. Means different people will have different opinion answers to this question, of course. What's it like to be the only child? Okay. Now, Ruksar is married, right? So somebody could, recently married. She has just celebrated her first anniversary. Okay. So one could ask Ruksar, what's it like to be married? What's it like to be means what's the difference? How do you feel now that you're married? Okay. So what's it like? What's it like? Learn this idiomatic expression, everybody. What's it like? We use this to ask questions. Now I will add this, what's it like? I am not going to make separate videos. It will take a lot of time. I can do this, you know, trim some parts of what I'm teaching and put them as separate with the title, mentioning the subject that I taught. Okay. And the topic I taught there. What's it like to live on top of the world? Some more example sentences with what's it like. Suppose somebody has just won the, fastest, um, somebody, an athlete had just made a record for being the fastest runner in the world. Okay. So one could ask, what's it like to have the record for the fastest 100 meters? Okay. So what's it like to, and then whatever you say, verb. Okay. तो आपके नाम दुनिया का सबसे तेज 100 मीटर का रिकॉर्ड है, कैसा लग रहा है? So what's it like to be the world champion in 100-meter race? Okay, so people ask that kind of question. What's it like? What's it like? Somebody could ask me, what's it like to be a Hindi medium student yourself and be teaching English today? Now, A says, A, Rose Caldor Aroni, 54, Eureka Tower, Melbourne, Australia. Rose Caldor Aroni is CEO of a medical research charity. CEO of a medical research charity. Okay, charity is an organization. A charity is an organization which does not work to make money. It works to help people who need help. A charity is an organization. So she works as a CEO of a medical research charity. Medical research charity. So this company, her company, perhaps would give money and resources to those people who are doing medical research and are in need of financial help. Usually charity, they help financially. Okay. So maybe there are people who want to do some medical research, but they are not in a position because of financial issues. So maybe her company, will offer that financial assistance. Okay. So she's a CEO of a medical research charity. Okay. She and her husband lived in another skyscraper before they moved. Charity is clear. Charity is an organization. Okay. Salman Khan also runs a charity. His charity is called Being Human. Yes. Okay. She and her husband lived in another skyscraper. Charity has another meaning as well. Charity is the event of giving somebody money. Okay. Giving somebody money is also called charity. Doing charity is a common expression. Okay. Somebody can say that I do a lot of charity, means I give money to a lot of people, or I help people a lot. I do a lot of charity. I do a lot of charity. I don't do charity, means I don't give people money to people like this. Okay. I don't do charity. You can say this line when somebody is asking you for money and you're annoyed with them then you can end up saying, I don't do charity, okay? Means don't ask me to give you money. I don't do charity. Sometimes, some people have this tendency of borrowing money but never paying back, right? They will borrow money and they'll never pay you back. What do you do to them? A time comes when you get really annoyed, right? And you say to them, when they come to you again, they have already borrowed money a couple of times and they have not paid back, and they still come, and you know very well that they don't actually need to. It's just their habit. You don't feel very positively about their situation, that they really need help. So you get annoyed and you end up saying, stop, I have stopped doing charity, okay? Don't come to me next time. I know it's a very, very bitter thing to say to someone, but sometimes you feel some people deserve that comment, and you end up saying, I have stopped doing charity, don't come to me next time. Okay. So I have stopped doing charity, means I don't do charity anymore, means I don't give money to people like that. Okay, lending money and doing charity are different things. You lend money to someone, you expect that they will pay you back. But when you do charity, you don't expect it to come back. Okay, you have given it away. You did charity. Okay, so charity. Fine. All right then. Sometimes you call some people a charity case. He's a charity case, or she's a charity case. In what that means is they depend on, charity, help from people. Okay. Usually this sentence is used to insult somebody. I'm not a charity case like you. Okay. Like that. Okay. Fine. Moving on. I think I've given enough information about the word charity. She and her husband lived in another skyscraper before they moved into the 91-floor Eureka Tower in 2006. She and her husband lived in another skyscraper before they moved into the 91-floor Eureka Tower in 2006. So, yes. You see, this is what I thought my students should do when they study. Because I'm going to forget what I taught, because I teach so many batches throughout the day. So I had to write it down that in this class, I have taught these things. Imagine if my students were sincere and dedicated in the class, wouldn't they also take down notes like this, that, okay, sir taught me the uses of ones today. He taught me the difference between either and any. He taught me what's it like. He taught me charity. And if you take down just these words as I have written them, later on you can revise these ideas, right? You can go to some other sources as well to maybe improve your understanding of these words. Maybe you could look them up, in a dictionary. Okay. Anyways, she and her husband lived in another skyscraper before they moved into the 91-floor Eureka Tower in 2006. In 2006, they moved into Eureka Tower. Eureka Tower is a skyscraper. How many floors does it have? How many floors does Eureka Tower have?
More than 91.
Kanak, couldn't hear you. Alexa, raise the volume to 10. Yes, Kanak beta?
It has more than 91 floors.
No, sweetie, no. It has 91 floors. I'll tell you, this is a very confusing sentence. You see, they moved into the 91-floor Eureka Tower. 91-floor Eureka Tower. They did not move into the 91st floor. They moved into the 91-floor Eureka Tower. Eureka Tower has 91 floors. Okay, they moved into the 91 floor Eureka Tower in 2006. Yes, they moved into the 91 floor Eureka Tower. In 2006. At nearly 300 meters, it was then the world's tallest apartment block. It was at 300, nearly 300 meters, okay? It was then the world's tallest apartment block. No building in 2006 was taller than Eureka Tower. It was the world's tallest apartment block. There were perhaps taller buildings, but they did not have apartments. They live on one of the highest floors of the building. Now we are talking about where they live. They live on one of the highest floors, one of the highest floors of the building. Now, when we say one of the highest floors, it is towards the end from the top. Okay. So not exactly the highest floor. They don't live on the highest floor. They live on one of the highest floors of Eureka Tower. Okay. With their son, Gideon, and Rose loves it. Rose loves living on such a high floor. It's not because of the apartment itself. It's not what? She loves it. The previous line is she loves it. Rose loves it. And then the next line is it's not because of the apartment itself. The love, the liking she has for the flat, for the apartment which she lives in, is not because of the apartment itself. There's nothing special about the apartment, she says. It's very much about looking outside. Why she loves it is not because the inside is very special or unique or special, different in any way. It's all about, it's much about looking outside. It's very much about looking outside because she lives on such a high floor. When she looks outside, this is the biggest, reason why she likes this floor or this apartment. It's not that the inside is very special. She says it's very much about looking outside. It's not about the inside. It means the reason why she likes her apartment is not the interior, not the design of the building. It's about the height. Because she's so high up, she enjoys the views. Yes. She never gets bored with the view. Well, I don't know, because I've never lived in such an apartment so high up. I remember that when we got the third floor built, it was very exciting to be on the roof, but only for some time. Not so much anymore. We still go on the roof, but it doesn't feel as exciting as it was in the beginning. It did feel amazing in the beginning. All right. Oh, I don't know, because it is really high, maybe on the 85th floor, 86th floor. We don't know where she lives, but that is that kind, that's very high, nearly 300 meters. So maybe she never gets bored with the view. She never gets bored. Gets bored. Bored is the ed adjective. Okay. Boring is the ing adjective. Boring movies, bored audience, boring match, bored spectators, audience. Okay. So bored adjective. Get bored, to become bored. Okay. She never gets bored with the view. Every time I look out of the window, it looks different. Every time I look out of the window, it looks different. Every time. Every time I look out of the window, it looks different. I notice something new. Every time she looks outside, she notices something new. Okay. They are building an even taller block of apartments nearby. They are building an even taller block of apartments. Block of apartments, the building is called block of apartments. It's a block. There are lots of apartments, a block of apartments. You can also say an apartment block, okay, like this here. The world's tallest apartment block. Block of apartments, apartment block. Either way, okay? So they are building an even taller, even taller. It is very tall, right? It is very tall. They are building an even taller block of apartments nearby. Where are they building? Nearby. Nearby. Whenever you ask the question where and you get an answer, that word or that phrase is an adverb of place, because the question is where. So when you ask the question where, whatever answer you get is an adverb of place. So nearby in this sentence is an adverb. They are building an even taller block of apartments nearby. Where are they building this block? Nearby. Nearby is an adverb. Now that is the part of a speech. Now what is the meaning of nearby? पास ही में, मेरे घर के पास, तुम्हारे घर के पास, किसके पास? नहीं, उसके घर के पास, मेरे नहीं, तुम्हारे नहीं, रोज के घर के पास, रोज के ब्लॉक के पास. So reference point is always there. That's why we use the word nearby. She's using nearby. I'm not saying it. She's saying that they are building a new, an even taller block of apartments nearby. If I say that, they are building a park nearby. If I say they are building a park nearby, it means I'm talking about the place where I live nearby. I'm saying, making this sentence here. So nearby in Hindi is paas hi mein. Paas hi mein. In Hindi we translate it with paas hi mein. Paas mein. वो यही पास में रहता है. वो यही पास में रहता है. He lives here nearby. He lives nearby. He lives nearby. Okay. So they are building an even taller block of apartments nearby. This nearby is an adverb and it's easy to understand because I gave you the clue, the trick. When you ask the question where, whatever answer you get is an adverb of place. I'll give you an example. I'm going to Patna. I'm going to Patna. Where am I going? To Patna. To Patna works as an adverb in this sentence. I is the subject. Am going is the verb of the subject. To Patna is the adverb here. Adverb of place. I'm going where? To Patna. If you try and understand to Patna, then to is a preposition, Patna is a noun. Together they are doing the job of an adverb. I'm going where? To Patna. I'm going there. There is an adverb. I'm going home. Home is an adverb. Where? Ghar. I'm going home. So in this sentence, when I say I'm going home, home is not a noun here. I'm going where? Home. Home is an adverb in this sentence. And that's why we say I'm going home. Okay. Next. Home is an adverb. Okay. Next. If you, sometimes people ask the question, why don't we say to home? Because when we say to Patna, Patna is a noun, home is an adverb as well. So do you say I'm going to there or I'm going there? I'm going there or I'm going to there? Kanak, Akhilesh, Ruksar, Praful, anybody can answer. I'm going there or I'm going to there. Which do you say? Nobody will answer?
I'm going there.
I'm going there. Right. Going there. That's correct. So similarly, I'm going home. Okay. They're building an even taller block of apartments nearby. We will lose part of our view, says Rose. We will lose part of our view. Okay, because they're building an even taller building, so we will not be able to see all those things that we have been able to see so far. We will lose part of our view. Part means some part here, okay? We will lose part of our view. कुछ नहीं दिख पाएगा, कुछ हिस्सा छूट जाएगा. We will lose part of our view, says Rose. But we can't really complain. It's not for them to complain. Okay, we can't really complain. शिकायत इस बात का कर नहीं सकते. What I think what they mean here is that as they have been able to enjoy the view for such a long time, now it is time for some other people to enjoy the view, so we can't really complain. And anyway, they're not doing anything to their building, right? Somebody else has the right to build another taller building, isn't it? What can they do about it? When she's ready to drive Gideon to school, Rose doesn't listen to traffic reports. When she's ready to drive Gideon to school, and when you live in such big cities, then you have to drive far for everything. The schools will be 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers sometimes, from where you live. So you have to be ready for such things. So when she's ready to drive Gideon to school, she doesn't listen to traffic reports. Now you'll say, hey, that we don't do that ever. Yeah, because we live in a small town. You see, things are nearby, right? The school is like 5, 7, 10 minutes away maximum. A kilometer max or 2 kilometers from home. And the traffic issue is not that bad. Traffic problem is not that bad in a small town. But in big cities, you can be stuck in traffic for half an hour, 20 minutes. So Rose doesn't listen to traffic reports because she lives on such high floors. She just looks out of the window. She looks out of the window. I have two ways we can go. There are two roads that can take her to her child's school, okay? I have two ways we can go. And I can see the traffic from here and take the better route, better road, better way, the better one. I can see the traffic from here and take the better one. Because she lives on such a high floor, it is easy for her to see where there is a lot of traffic. Upar wala sab dekh raha hai, So because she lives so high up, she can see everything. All right, I can see the traffic from here and take the better one. Better one here means better way. Yeah, with the one with less traffic. There is no need to check the weather. There is no need to check the weather either. Now, this is a different use of either. This is a different use of either. One use I talked about either or any, when we are referred to one of a group. If the group is of two, either. If the group is more than two, then any. But here, there is no need to check the weather either. So this either can be compared to also or TOO2. You see, I am a teacher. My wife is a teacher too. So when we make a similar statement, positive similar statement, we use the word TOO2. I eat mutton. My wife eats mutton too. No problems. Okay, I love comedy films. My family like comedy films too. So two is used when you make a similar comment, okay, positive comment. But if the similarity is a negative comment, in nature, negative, okay, like I said, I don't like noise. And I want to say the same thing about somebody else. My wife doesn't like noise. I will not say two, I will say either. I don't like noise. My wife doesn't like noise either. So when the similarity is a positive statement, then we use the word two. And when the similarity is a negative statement, then we use either. So first the statement was they don't need to listen to the traffic report. They don't need to listen to the traffic report. They can look out of the window and find out which way is the better one. Okay. Now they don't need to listen to the weather report either. They don't need to listen to the traffic news, traffic report. They don't need to listen to the weather news, weather report either, or either. Okay, both are the same pronunciation, correct pronunciation. You can see where the clouds are. When you are so high up, you can see where the clouds are. Okay, so there are two big advantages. You don't have to waste your time listening to the weather news. You don't need to find out the traffic report before you leave home. You can just look out of the window. Hey, there is a lot of traffic on this road. Let's take that way. Simple. Okay. And the second advantage, you can just see where the clouds are when you are so high up. You don't need to listen to the weather report. But you can't see the ground when the clouds are low. It blocks the view. You can't see the ground when the clouds are low. This sentence blows my mind. It means sometimes the clouds are so low, they can't see the ground. They are above the clouds. Wow. Nature can seem a long way away. Nature can seem a long way away, but it's only a 3-minute walk to the park. Nature can seem a long way away. Nature refers to greenery, trees, forests, plants, rivers, lakes, right? These mountains, these things make up nature. When before man took over, and he started building these concrete jungles we call cities and towns, okay? Imagine this world, what it looked like just 2,000, 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago. Did we have the same world as we see it today? The look of it, there were only forests everywhere, right? Only greenery, only nature everywhere. But in those big cities, you can't find things that will make you feel relaxed, like, rivers, lakes, and mountains and stuff like that. Nature can seem a long way away from here. Nature seems very distant, very far, a long way away. Success is still a long way away for me. Success is still a long way away for me. Success is still very far. I am walking towards it. Okay. Seem a long way away. When you start learning a language, fluency seems a long way away. And that's the reason that a lot of people give up midway. If they don't have patience, they can't really learn a language. It's impossible for anybody to learn a language if they're not patient. Because fluency seems a long way away. Even after studying for months, you will be able to form just some sentences. Language learning is a slow process. That's why a lot of people give up. Nature can seem a long way away, but it's only a 3-minute walk to the park. It's only a 3-minute walk to the park. It's only a 3-minute walk to the park. From their apartment, it takes them 3 minutes to walk to the park. There is a park nearby. There is a park nearby. Nearby is an adverb, not a preposition. Where is the park? Where is the park? Nearby. What is special? People are asking if the class is on, if the class is on. Is there anything special today? Yesterday it was Ganesh Chaturthi. The day before yesterday it was Ganesh Chaturthi. What does that mean? I close classes only when we have very important holidays. Holidays which will impact social life. Then I will close the class. Otherwise, I will not. I mean, all shops are opening just the same today. So why the class will be off? Like Holi, classes will be off because that day shops will be closed as well. Social life will be impacted. The Shera social life will be impacted. Eid social life will be impacted. So I close classes on those days. But you don't expect me to close classes on Ganesh Chaturthi because everything else is running smoothly. It's just the same. So why would the class be off? And I don't have many students from villages anyway. They have to go back to their village. Most of my students are students from Bihar Sharif or other towns who study online. So I don't feel the need to close the classes. Okay. It's only a 3-minute walk to the park. It means these people can walk to the park within 3 minutes. It takes them only 3 minutes to walk to the park. When Gideon was little, Rose says, when Gideon was little, Rose says, he came back from a friend's. He came back from a friend's. See how many things a text can teach you. He came back from a friend's. एक दोस्त कहाँ से आया? एक दोस्त कहाँ से आया? He came back from a friend's. Only from a friend. दोस्त कहाँ से आया? हम अपने दोस्त कहाँ जा रहे हैं? I'm going to a friend. I'm going to a friend's. Apostrophe S. हम अपने एक दोस्त के यहाँ जा रहे हैं? हम अपने दोस्त के यहाँ जा रहे हैं? I'm going to a friend's. He came back from a friend's and said, Mummy, we played in the park. He came back from a friend's and said, Mummy, we played in the park. And I said, no, that was a garden. That was their garden. That was their garden. So her child didn't know as a kid the difference between a garden and a park. Why? Because maybe the park was not very big. The park is not very big, one. Okay. And maybe because the child never got to see a garden and it was the first time he saw a garden, all he had seen was just a park. So he thought it was a park. Right? We could conclude a couple of things from here. Maybe that park that is around near their house is not very big. Two, maybe because when he was growing up, he did not see a garden around him. So when he went to a friend's for the first time, he saw a garden. And because he had only seen parks, so he thought it was a park. He came and said, Mummy, we played in the park. Then I said, no, that was their garden. So if you understand, this paragraph is talking about the advantage or disadvantage of living in a skyscraper. This paragraph is talking about the advantage, the plus side or the minus side, the upside or the downside of living in a skyscraper. It is talking about the downside, right? Disadvantages. Clearly, one needs to be smart to analyze these things, okay? The family are fine with heights. You know, there are a lot of people who are not happy with heights. They have fear of heights. The family are fine with heights, but visitors sometimes find it more difficult. Those who have to visit their house, sometimes they have more problems. We had one babysitter who was so stressed out, she couldn't come back. They had a babysitter, and that babysitter got so stressed out because of the height, she didn't come back. She didn't come back. Okay. And people's ears often pop on the journey up, just like in an aeroplane. So people's ears pop when they fly in an aeroplane, and it can happen when they are coming on the lift up. Okay. Their ears often pop. On the journey up means on the lift, because it's such a tall building, people have to take the lift to come up. And when they're coming up, because the lift goes fast, sometimes their ears pop. And this is a whole new topic, ears popping, why it happens. You need to study it online. Why our ears pop when we are going up on a lift, or why our ears pop when we are on an aeroplane. Then you will know. Yeah, it's about air pressure and our body and its mechanism. Okay. The view from Eureka Tower. This is the view from Eureka Tower. Take a look, guys. These tall buildings look so small. This is means if you were standing in Rose's apartment and if you were looking out of a window, this is what it will look like. So many tall buildings, but don't they look very small? Looks like they're matchboxes. Okay. But they will be tall buildings, guys, and you are so high up. That's why. Look at the roads, look at the cars, how small they look. Okay. Now the other, text. Mike Palumbo text. Mike Palumbo is 50 years old. He lives in Water Tower Place in Chicago, US. Mike Palumbo was born in the suburbs of Chicago. He was born in the suburbs of Chicago. Now, suburbs are those areas which are not in the city center, which are outside the city center. And that's why they're slightly cheaper and less developed as well. Suburbs are cheaper and less developed. When we say Mumbai, every area in Mumbai is not equally important and expensive. There are some parts which are which consist of the which make up the city center of Mumbai. There are some parts which are right in the center, right? And they have the most important buildings, most important offices. That area would be expensive. And you go 20, 30 kilometers away from there, then you start to come to suburbs, right? They're still called Mumbai, but they are not the main part of Mumbai. So suburbs refers to those parts which are less developed, less expensive, not in the center. Patna, Gandhi Maidan, Exhibition Road, Boring Road, Bakarganj, these are the city center, main part of Patna. But when you go slightly away and you go to Pahadi, you go to Anisabad, these are the suburbs of Patna. Places, land is cheaper, things are cheaper, not very important, right? Suburbs. So he was born in the suburbs of Chicago. Chicago is a big city, but he wasn't born in the center of Chicago. He was born in the suburbs there. However, when he went to school in the center of the city, he felt at more home there. Okay, to feel at home means to feel relaxed. Give me a couple of minutes. Can I ask you to do one thing? I won't read this part today, okay? Because I have read the first part. I want all of you to answer the questions about the first person. First, these 6 questions here in exercise 3 on the left side, and then the first 3 questions in exercise 5, please, because I have read the text for you. Please write the answers. Everybody do it alone. Write the answers. Ruksar, Praful, Kanak, Akhilesh, Pratik, please write the answers. Yes. Good morning. Is it you, Jaswal? Who's speaking? Who's speaking? Okay. Yes, Sunil. Okay. So you'll join the 7:30 batch. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. I will share the link with you today. You guys find it difficult to answer these questions? Do you guys find it difficult to answer these questions? And because you have some time, I would like you guys to read the second text as well, Mike Palumbo text, and do the same exercise 3, the same 6 questions, and exercise 5, 3 questions about Mike Palumbo. Okay, please do something at home so that you guys, feel more comfortable at home in the class. I'll wrap up now. We'll carry on tomorrow. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care. Good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.